Call this CUB Board of Directors meeting to order. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approval of vouchers? Motion carries. Do I hear a motion to approve vouchers?
So approved. So motion, move. Sorry.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval for monthly reports for October, and I'll turn that over to General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Direct your attention to the flyout sheet, and I can tell you that this is a 3 payroll month, so it always hits us, as you say. It's generally twice a year. I think next year maybe 3 times in a year. That comes every 4 years. So with a 3-month payroll, we're still in a very positive position in both departments. Dudley, you might want to share that whatever you have, but we are ahead of budget and continue to be in both departments.
The revenue and expense summary for the month of October, you see the electric department had net income of $10,000. That third payroll, as Greg said, adds a lot to expense, probably $150,000 to expense. That would have been without that third payroll. And in the water and sewer, you had a net loss there of $26,000, and that third payroll for that's probably $40,000. So if you factor out that third payroll, both departments did well. And as Greg said, for the year, the electric department is $102,000 ahead of the forecast, and the water and sewer is $18,000 ahead of the forecast. So both departments are ahead of the target that we shot for and doing well. And if you got any specific questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you.
Any questions? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion or any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Project status reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll direct your attention to the electric project status. We're tracking 3 work orders there. 2 are essentially finished, and 1 we're just beginning. And Todd, you might have a word on some of that.
Yes, thank you, Greg. Like you said, 3 work orders. The first 2 we just recently completed. The first one there, the aerial cable on South Dark Hall, is completed in November as scheduled. The Richards Drive was actually completed just slightly ahead of schedule. We were projecting it here in December, and it finished right at the end of November. So the other one there on Mountain Road, which is tie line to help us along that feeder for our Fwizzer system, help with reliability along there, and we're just now really getting started on it. Good. So, any questions?
Is there any questions? Hearing none, moving to agenda item 7, approval of purchase order.
Water sewer.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just,
Getting ahead of myself.
you're correct. We are through with electric, but we are tracking 1 work order in our water and sewer department. And Greg, if you have a word you want to say about that.
It's about 50% complete. The bore and the water line's been installed underneath Clinton Highway. The only thing we're waiting on is the tie-ins on both sides of the road and testing and everything else. So it's 50% right now.
That's all we have on that, Mr. Chairman. I can move on to the next item if you prefer. The
I would. Thank you.
transformer quotes, a purchase order of 15 pad mount transformers. This is our attempt to continue to stay ahead of the wave. These are as you notice, or you may notice, the delivery on this is 102 weeks. So we're essentially pushing that 2 years, and they have reserved the right to back off of that if they're unable to get that in time. The cost, at $3,700 a piece, what does that represent, Todd? About percentage of an increase over what we could have got 6 months or 8 months ago?
It's almost a 50% increase over since July.
50% increase since July. So that's what we're facing if we can even get them. There has been requests from utilities in the valley, already, that those are running, they've run out, and now they're looking for somebody to help them. And what they'll find, I'm sure, is that we have to protect our inventory for our customers, unfortunately for them. I think these can be had. You can see you can get one in about 6 months if you want to pay $102,000 for what we're paying $56,000 for. But if they want to send $102,000 up here, I'm telling you, they might be able to snag something out of us too.
Is part of our cost on that still the tariffs on metal we import?
Well, everything goes in it, but the problem is you just can't get them. And that's what is in country is being sucked up everywhere. And some of these great big utilities, they've sucked up a lot of these. So they're just not being able to manufacture them. They can't get the parts for them. They can't get the raw material for them. And then they ship them, they can't feel good about whether or not they're going to be transported. So, I mean, it's everything. Everything that is metal has gone up. Almost every material everywhere has gone up.
For several years there, it's been a couple of years ago, every time I buy something out of metal, a dishwasher, there'd be a line at the bottom that says you're paying $56 extra for the import tariff on the metal on this item.
Right.
But I'm not seeing that anymore, so I don't know whether that was still affecting prices.
No, well, I wouldn't say it's not affecting, but that's not the dominating factor on it. And I mean, you buy a 2x4, it's just amazing. It's very difficult in terms of trying to price a house right now if you were building one. So I'm glad we're not, by the way, but there's a big jump. You buy wire, you buy Romex to put in your house. Everything costs, if you can get it, because sometimes you can't. That's all I have on that, Mr. Chairman. I recommend that the board approve low bid on that of $56,610 for 15 25 kVA pad mounts.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, as we move forward, I'm going to ask the board and recommend that the board approve work order 1360. And this is aerial cable going out to Old Lake City Highway. Todd, if you want to, since you're here, buddy,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate any additional information you want to give on this work order.
Thank you. Yes, sir. This, like Greg said, this reflects about a little over 2.5 mile project up Old Lake City Highways. You start out of Lake City, head back down towards Dutch Valley. Replaces a veteran line that was put in back in the 70s there that's mostly off the road, behind the houses, up in the hills. One of our worst reliability areas. Move this out to the road, new modern day cable, increased size, which will help with our hopefully reliability and also with our Flizzer system, give us greater options as far as automation there.
The deal is this was budgeted at $600,000, and you see now we're at $638,000, even though that contingency, it's a standard amount we put in there. We're still hopefully be in that $580,000 range, but we generally sink into that contingency sum. So because of the increasing cost, because a lot of this we budget a year ago, the budget on this is $600,000. We're asking approval for a work order in the amount of $638,825. I recommend the board approve this work order, Mr. Chairman.
Do you hear a motion to approve? Do you hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we have wire in the house to complete the project, or gonna have to wait on?
No, we have wire.
We have the wire for this project already.
We always stock a full warehouse. It's gonna really have to stretch down to get us.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Because I didn't hear Steve down there, so. Motion approved, and moving on to other business.
Mr. Chairman, all we have for other business is I want to let the board know that the auditors have completed the audit ending June 30th, 2021, and they will have hard copies, and they will be here to present that to the board next month. And we'll get those, what we can on the board book. Good news is that there's no surprises. If you want to know what the numbers are, look at your June 30 statement, because they always match to the cent, although they categorize things a little bit differently in audits. You know, when it gets down to the bottom line, it's always the same. So that'll be next month. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, is there any other matters to come before this board? Hearing none, I will adjourn.